it being autumn, I always like to take a look at autumn colour. It's something I do every year. I don't know if my photos are getting any better through practicing and looking at autumn colour, but this year I've been a bit restricted time-wise as there's a new dog arrived on the scene, and it means my ability to get out, because he's a puppy, not a lot of options for getting out and about at the moment. So I did get an hour. I was lucky to get an hour over, and I took a stroll down to Arford Common, which is pretty close to us. And I thought, I'll make the most of this. I'll take the Sigma SD Quattro, and I'll take 3 lenses, which is a bit overkill, obviously. My main aim was to use the 30mm Sigma lens, which is on the camera there. I also took the 17 to 50 zoom, just in case some wider shots. And this thing, which I've hardly really used, which is my 70mm macro Sigma lens. And to be honest, the camera did not disappoint at all. I mean, these SD Quattros are a very simple camera, to be honest. They don't have a huge amount of functions and stuff and nonsense about them. They're very simple to use, very straightforward, and they are a real joy to use, I have to say. It's a beautiful thing, and I thoroughly enjoy it every time I use it, and I enjoy the output as well. It's actually, in use, it's a relatively, this sounds ridiculous, it's relatively quick to use, but that is only comparing it to the Sigma DP cameras, which are horrendously slow to use. Maybe I need some quicker cards in those DP cameras, but this thing, relatively speaking, this is quick. Compared to every other camera on the market, it's dog slow, but compared to other Sigma cameras, it's quite good. It's quite a joy. Handily, in Arford, there are plenty of trees, so I didn't take a tripod because I was only out for an hour, and you need somewhere to stabilise it, because I'm always using this thing at base ISO, because the Foveon sensor doesn't do well at high ISO, really. That was the biggest challenge, to be honest. Two things, I guess, were challenges on this trip. One was finding suitable stabilisation to make sure the shots were going to be reasonably sharp. The other thing is this 70mm lens. I don't trust the autofocus. That's one thing I don't really trust very much on the SD Quattro. I mean, it's okay. It works reasonably well. But if you've got something like this, and if you're using it at wide open or close to wide open, f2.8, the field of view is really, really shallow. The depth of field is really shallow, and depth of field, not field of view. The depth of field is really shallow, and that makes focus quite critical. And manual focus, manual focus peaking, and the ability to magnify the view on this is really good. That works really well. The peaking and the magnify work really well in combination. So you can nail focus quite successfully, but leaving it to autofocus itself, I found to be a mistake, because half the time it just misses it slightly. Interestingly, when I came home, after I got home, I realised that our next door neighbour had got a smoke bush that's got some really interesting patterns in the leaves as they change colour in the autumn. And so I used this camera again with this lens, firstly trying the autofocus, and it missed plenty. Then I redid it using manual focus, and it was great. And I also used the Olympus, Olympus Micro Four Thirds stuff, and got some pretty decent results with that as well. And of course, when you look at them, unless you're going in real close on a PC or something, you can't tell the difference, to be honest. Maybe the colours are a bit different. But see what you think. You know, it's swings and roundabouts there. So there is still some good autumn colour out there, but it is gradually the leaves are accumulating on the ground rather than being on the trees, and some of the trees have definitely lost everything already. So this year I've missed out a little bit on getting out to see the autumn colour, and that's partly my own fault for not making the time, and I felt a little bit restricted in what I can and can't do just for a little while. But I'm hoping that this dog is going to provide me with so many photo opportunities in the future and lots of long walks. So that's all to look forward to.